So, very good evening to everybody. Meeting again in the session of Materia Medica, and we have started with a very important polycrest remedy in yesterday's session, that is the phosphorus. Few aspects and one case I have discussed with you. Today, I will going to share one more case. Again, a case which was difficult to cure from allopathic point of view and treated nearly about a year or two without result for chronic cough. The young fellow, he was just uh, 26, 27, and very tall, slender, stoop-shouldered, came to me in, and he was sitting over there in waiting room, and he was coughing and coughing continuously. And he brought so much of reports along with him, and everything was investigated. And at least 3 times he was investigated to diagnose the tuberculosis, but tuberculosis was not there. Even IgG, IgM antibodies, all things they were studied, then X-rays, the CTs, and all those things, and everything found to be normal. Still, doctor has given a 3 weeks trial of anti-tubercular treatment to him without any result. So this fellow, when entered in my clinic, sitting in front of me, he was very taller than me, and he was sitting with stoop shoulder over there, and he has kept his hand handkerchief on his mouth, and he was off and on coughing over there. Sputum, which was very less, he used to tell me that, doctor, I used to get sputum more in morning or in the evening, and he was coughing a lot. Then I took the whole case. He said that he is the fellow who is having the very many times the epistaxis in childhood. Then his cup, whenever expectoration comes out, it is many times blood tinged, which is absolutely red colored. Then he had it in since last 2 3 years, and which is not getting settled. Doctor gave me a lot of medicines. Whenever I am taking certain medicines for time being, it I feel little bit better. But as soon as I stopped taking the medicines, it used to affect me a lot. And then he said I could not lie on left side. I I have to lie on only on right side when I feel better whenever I'm sleeping. And I used to get aggravated every day in the morning when I wakes up and before going to sleep. There is severe trouble for me, and it's not for me, it's for whole family, because I was coughing day and night. And they were lot of worried. I am being the younger one, and only one um, fellow from the next generation. So they are tremendously worried about me. And he was quite good in vocabulary whenever I was discussing, but in between, whenever he was talking with me, he used to cough a lot. So that was the case, and chronic cough since long time, which was there. And he was he said that day by day he's getting more and more weaker. And he told two more modalities in his case, that his cough used to get aggravated whenever he stopped, he used to talk. And whenever he is reading anything, he used to get a cough. That was another thing which he has mentioned in the case. The morning and evening modality which was there. Then one more modality, whenever he used to laugh, the cough gets excited. That was another thing which he has mentioned regarding it. Then he has mentioned about the mm, um, hoarseness sometimes happens to be there. My throat becomes sometimes congested, and I feel that I'm not getting a proper sound from the from my throat, and it generally happens to be there in the evening. So it's a typical case, look like to be tuberculosis, but not having tuberculosis. I auscultated him, and on auscultation, left apex was having little bit crepes over there. But still, it was not catched in the X-rays. It was not catched in the CT. So I have seen all the reports. Recent reports were recent of origin. So nothing was wrong with it. Reports quite good. Basically, he has taken lot of antibiotics, even tubercular. ATT trial, all those things, and that's why reports might be a normal. Then he said, many times it happens that I used to get a sweating at night. And when I examined him, he was having a typical narrow chestedness. His thoracic span was very big and abdominal span was very small. Typical tubercular constitution he was having. So a fellow from tubercular myasm, not showing active tuberculosis in any reports, having a chronic cough over there for 2-3 years duration, and all those things. The fellow was quite fair looking, young man with fair skin, delicate skin, and all those things which were there going in favor of that. Then I asked, are there any modalities where when your problem gets aggravated and when you feel better? He said, I feel better only when I used to lie down on the right side. That is the only thing with which I feel little bit better. And generally, I used to feel better whenever I used to take cold water and ice cream. That was interesting. Patient was having a cup and better by ice cream. It is a rather contradictory feature over there, but he felt better with the ice cream. Then I asked anything else, and then he said, Doctor, whenever the rainy season starts and when there is lightning, thunderstorm happens to be there, my problem gets aggravated over there. So these are the things which he has mentioned. So clear-cut indication for the phosphorus was there, but Kent has very specifically, Dvorak has very specifically in those mentioned that you should be cautious enough when you are treating with the tubercular patient or inactive tuberculosis. As reports were normal, as he was not showing typical presentation of tuberculosis in his reports, I dared to start with phosphorus. But in which potency should I start? That was the question in my mind. So considering his low susceptible state, considering his disorder of chronic origin, I dared to start the phosphorus 30, 3 doses, followed by placebo along with biocombination number 6. And that's all. That's what we have started. Asked him to meet me after 15 days. And after 15 days, when he returned, he said, Doctor, I'm feeling much better. That was first thing which he has told me. How is the cough? The cough, yes, little bit better, not completely, but still, I definitely say that I'm 40 to 50% better. I'm able to, now I'm getting good appetite. I used to get good sleep basically, which was getting disturbed due to the coughing, and that has settled. So few things related with that, he was happy. So I have continued with the same thing, placebo and 6 number without repeating the phosphorus. Because it is a remedy, one should not repeat. Otherwise, it causes a problem. This is a tubercular remedy having very much depth. And if you repeat, sometimes you can spoil the case. So I asked him, meet me again 15 days. I am continuing with medicines and meet me after 15 days. And when he came up again after 15 days, there was 75% improvement was there, and he was improving day by day. His weight gain was there, and he got good strength. The susceptibility is much up now. The eyes which were looking sunken now become fresh, and he was happy that there was no, in last 15 days there was no expectoration, bloody expectoration. He used to get the expectoration, but that has also reduced. And he was getting good sleep, good appetite, everything was fine. So same medicine continued, no more repetition required, and within span of 2-3 months, he was completely out of danger and out of complaint. So this is phosphorus. Phosphorus has very typical modalities. If you get those modalities, you can prescribe phosphorus very perfectly in such types of cases. So we have discussed few aspects of phosphorus in yesterday's lecture from Allen's keynotes. We were on page number 220. I think we have finished up to the restless fidgety, moves continually, cannot sit or stand still a moment. And he has compared it with the zinc. Zinc, it is of nervous origin. Here phosphorus It is basically a mental restlessness as well as the physical restlessness which is there. Then he starts with the sensations, and phosphorus is trio of burning, one of trio of burning. Arsenic, the phosphorus and sulfur, three remedies. These are called to be trios of burning. Phosphorus has burning, but what type of burning? Burning in spots along the spine. Very important feature. Patient complains many times, we forget that it is given in phosphorus. There is burning along the spine. Burning between the scapulae. In between the scapulae, if the burning is there, this is one of the important remedy given in italics. He has compared it with lachanthesis. It is not lachesis, it is lachanthesis, where there is a burning between the scapulae as if of a piece of ice. That's what he has mentioned over there. Burning or intense heat running up the back. So there is burning or intense heat running up the back. Burning of palms of hands like lachesis. Here it goes in close with a lachesis. Burning in chest and lungs. Burning of every organ or tissues of the body. Arsenic and sulfur. Yes, these are three kings or three trios, three remedies of the burning: sulfur, arsenic, and phosphorus. Sulfur burning is better by cold. Arsenic burning is better by heat. And phosphorus burning, if it is externally, it is better by warm application. Internally, it is felt by better by cold. Burning generally in diseases of the nervous system. So whenever nervous system is affected, there is a burning. Then he mentioned about the hemorrhagic diathesis. The hemorrhagic diathesis, small wounds bleed profusely, like lachesis, creosote. There are many more bleeding remedies. But this remedy has a very specific entity. The blood is quite fresh. It is absolutely bright red and it is forceful. Hemorrhagic diathesis, hemorrhage from every mucous outlet. Great weakness and prostration. That is a characteristic of this tubercular myodome. There is great weakness and prostration. These people used to suffer a lot whenever they move. Little bit exertion causes a weakness in them. So great weakness and prostration with nervous debility. Nervous debility means it is the nerves which gets debilitated, because of which the patient never wants to move here and there. When they get exhausted because of that. Nervous debility and trembling. Great weakness of the whole body. Weakness and weariness from loss of vital fluids. That is another feature like cinchona, like phosphoric acid, like arsenic album, like veratrum album. There is a tremendous weakness which develops because of loss of vital fluid. Here, it might be because of diarrhea. Here, it might be because of hemorrhage. Here, it might be sometimes because of vomiting, whatever it may be, but loss of vital fluids causes tremendous weakness in phosphorus. Then how are the pains? One type of pain already mentioned, that is the burning. But characteristics of the pain are again mentioned by Allen. Pain acute, especially in the chest. They are of acute origin. And where they felt in chest. Aggravated from pressure. So pains are aggravated by pressure. If they are better by pressure, it is bryonia, opposite of it. Pain from aggravated from pressure, even slight pressure. So if just you touch it and they feel aggravated. Pain in intercostal spaces and lying on left side. So intercostal spaces in between the ribs, the pains are there. They are especially aggravated whenever patient lies on left side. They are there whenever there is left-sided pneumonia. They are there whenever the cup is there. The cup always aggravates. Lying on left side aggravates. So this is the remedy where this left-sidedness is very characteristically present. Pain excited by slightest chill and pain open air intolerable. Whenever patient goes into the open air, the pains gets aggravated. Whenever patient is too sensitive, phosphorus is sensitive, which we have discussed in yesterday's lecture. That nervous sensitiveness is very marked over there. Nervous system is at very sharp level, and that's why slightest air causes a tremendous pain there. Whenever they goes out in open air, they used to suffer a lot. A weak, empty organ sensation in head, in chest, in stomach, and in entire abdomen. Organ sensation, that means there is nothing remaining inside. The strength has lost. Whatever he has consumed, it is as if the whole thing has vanished. Nothing remained inside the abdomen. This organ sensation is characteristic of certain remedies. Phosphorus is one of them. Sepia is one of them. Then it is there in anacardium organ sensation. There are many more. But this organ sensation, which is there, felt in different organs. It is there in the head. It is there in the chest. It is there in the stomach. It is there in the entire abdomen. So it is not only related with the stomach, but it is everywhere present. Apathetic. Apathetic means they never, whenever they are suffering, they never wants to talk. Apathetic. Unwilling to talk. Answers slowly and moves sluggishly because of the pain, because of the weakness, because of the prostration. They never move so fast. That is very typical of this remedy. Another remedy which is there is phosphoric acid. Phosphoric acid is nothing but the exhausted phosphorus. The debilitated phosphorus is phosphoric acid. But in phosphoric acid, you quite commonly get a diabetic debility, more commonly. It is diabetic debility, diabetic impotency, which is there with the phosphoric acid. So you compare both the remedies, you will learn them very nicely. They are very close to each other at certain level, and you can easily differentiate that one is very active, one is absolutely debilitated. So close remedy is phosphoric acid over there. Very of life, like aurum metallicum, but everyone's reason is different. Here they're very of life because of illnesses, because of chronic complaints, because of chronic illnesses. And that's why he feels exhausted, he feels weary, he never wants to live. Then he's full of gloomy and forebodings. Full of gloomy. Gloomy म्हणजे खिन्न. Udas. Absolutely doesn't have interest. He is gloomy about forebodings, what will happen about them. See, this is a negative side of the phosphorus. He is going from positive to negative. When the disease remains for longer time of duration, he goes from positive state to the negative state. Very active, very intelligent, very talkative. Person goes into exactly the opposite state where he doesn't want to talk, becomes apathetic. He never wants to get mixed at that time. He gets exhausted, never wants to move. See, two extremes of the phosphorus. On one side, active personality going into the debilitated state. So, weary of life, full of gloomy forebodings. Now, the physicals, he starts with head. The dandruff falls out in clouds. Very important feature, tremendous dandruff. It is not only dandruff, there is a hair loss is also there. Hair comes out in bunches. It is a wonderful remedy for alopecia areata also. Very important feature. So what he says over there, dandruff falls out in clouds, lycopodium. Yes, he has mentioned over there, hair falls out in bunches. Baldness of single parts. So baldness in certain areas, alopecia areata, like acid fluor. This is one remedy which one has to think. Fluoric acid along with phosphorus is there, lycopodium is there. There are many more, but this remedy has very specific entity. It is associated with lot of dandruff. Dandruff is more marked. Eyes, they are hollow. They are surrounded by blue rings. So dark circles around the eyes, very characteristic of the phosphorus. Lids, eyelids, they are puffy, they are swollen, they are edematous. So puffiness of eyelids, they are swollen. If there is a upper eyelid which is swollen, then it is Calicarbonicum. The lower eyelid, if it is swollen, it is very specifically of Apis mellifica. Here, it is not a puffiness, it is swelling only. Eyelids which are swollen over there in phosphorus. One more feature which we will discuss in today's session, longs for cold food and cold drinks. He likes very much cold food, cold drinks, juicy, refreshing things. That is phosphorus, phosphoric acid. Both of them craves the juicy thing. Ice cream ameliorates gastric complaints. Ice cream is a very important thing which these people likes a lot. I have seen a patient who used to consume ice cream at a time 10 cups. I've seen that fellow. Typical phosphorus constitution and craving for that. So this is very important remedy one must know regarding many complaints. Multidimensional aspects are there with the phosphorus. Tomorrow we'll continue with this remedy. Tomorrow we might finish it from Allen, and day after tomorrow we'll learn it from Borix, the first paragraph of Borix, so that you will understand the depth of phosphorus, how to utilize the phosphorus in practice. So I think it will be better to stop over here and continue in tomorrow's session for the GI features of the phosphorus. So that's all for today. Thank you being there, everyone. And we'll meet again tomorrow. Is there any query? So thank you and good night. We'll meet tomorrow.
Thank you, sir. Good night.